We are wrestling fans. I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Protect your neck was a great way for We Are Wrestling to cap off 2024 with their shows. And I'll say this right now, as far as We Are Wrestling goes, 2025, look the heck out. Now the night begins. By the way, show start 8:04 p.m. We're supposed to start at 8 o'clock. It begins with Peter Rosado comes to the ring and announces to the crowd that for now, this event would be the final show held at St. Helena's. And but he did say to the crowd that We Are Wrestling's not going anywhere. It's still going to be having their shows in the Bronx. But he said, let's get through Thanksgiving. Let's do Thanksgiving, get through Christmas, and get through New Year's, and then they'll, talk about the 2025 and what they've got planned and stuff. But then Rosado passes it over to ring announcer Shane Fair to get the matches underway, and we start out with the Good Doctor Landon Hale taking on former Grand Champion Rob Killjoy, and man, these two men actually don't know if they ever faced each other before, but they really brought it to each other, and the crowd was really on fire for their match. And good matchup, which saw Rob Killjoy defeat Landon Hale at 10 minutes 18 seconds. And after the match, they offered a handshake, and they each spit on each other's on their own hands, and they shook hands. Ugh. Very good match these two guys had. It's almost like these guys meshed or really clicked once they touched. Next up match, we saw Anthony Gamble taking on Sean Donovan, who attacked Gamble back at the Bridge is Over in September. The crowd was eating Donovan up as Donovan was putting him down, even wearing a defaming shirt about the Bronx, and giving the crowd sights for the bird watchers. Sean Donovan defeats Anthony Gamble at 7 minutes 22 seconds, and to my surprise, he put him away with a DDT. Nobody really uses that for a finish anymore. Or most times people hit a DDT and people keep kicking out. Up next was the 6-train scramble, which has become the We Are Wrestling tradition, specialty. As we saw Chris Barton versus Perfect Ratio, Adonis Stone versus Joey Sins versus Betty Blanco versus the last Bronx Italian Franco Costanzo versus the teacher, Mr. James. The enjoyable clash of styles with this matchup. Joey Sins came out to Even Flow by Pearl Jam, and Betty Blanco, who I'd seen before in Loud East Wrestling, Betty Blanco came out to Jump by Crisscross. My brother was a big fan of Crisscross back in the early 90s. The last Bronx Italian, Franco Costanzo, defeats Mr. James, Betty Blanco, Joey Sins, Chris Barton, and Perfect Ratio Adonis Stone at 7 minutes 48 seconds. Next matchup was a 2 out of 3 falls match, as the good guy Azrael took on Prince Ahmed, which is a return bout from the Bridge is Over back in September. This time it was 2 out of 3 falls. They were going hot and heavy with these guys at first. They go out to the floor, and they each had a chair sitting at ringside, and they're teasing, suplexing each other. Azrael eventually suplexes Prince on the floor onto that sitting chair, and the referee disqualified Azrael, giving Prince Ahmed the first fall at 5 minutes 9 seconds, and then without no rest period practically, the second fall begins, and Azrael wins the second fall by count out at 17 seconds. as Prince Ahmed still could not get back in the ring in time, just for the second fall. Then the third deciding fall, Prince Ahmed wins by pinfall, and the third fall was 7 minutes 11 seconds. Very good matchup these guys had. Ooh, up next we saw former WWE's competitor Savio Vega, who had come out to the Los Boricuas theme. Savio took on the All-Father Darius Carter in a singles matchup. As far as Savio's music goes, I was surprised he came out to the Los Boricuas theme. I was expecting to hear which he used from 1995 until early 1997. Savio, bless his heart, I understand he's 60 years old, and, you know, Savio was mostly throwing karate thrusts because he knows martial arts. And kudos to him for attempting that spin kick, but Carter had held onto the ropes. The spin kick that Savio, I'm referring to, it's Savio's move. However, the funny thing was, I refer to it as the Quang kick. For those who don't know, Savio Vega debuted in the WWE in early 1994 under a mask as Quang, Kwang, and he was depicted as this ninja with a mask on, and he was spitting mist, and he was managed by Harvey Whippleman, and he did that character up until spring of 1995 when he was repackaged as the man we know as Savio Vega. Oh, what a rush. Carter hits Savio with the Royal Sweep, and at 6 minutes 1 second, Darius Carter defeats Savio Vega to pick up the victory to retain the BST, Blood, Sweat, and Tears Wrestling Territorial Championship. Territorial Championship. Even at that point, they had gone to intermission. The action resumes and we see Jay Bougie take on Matt Awesome. Awesome actually came through the crowd. He didn't come through the curtain and attack Bougie from behind and get the match underway. Actually, they didn't get underway right away. Security or ring crew, they're trying to separate them, and then they're like trying to calm things down. Then the referee tells them to ring the bell and start the match. Matt Awesome defeats Jay Bougie at hitting 2 Uranagis at 6 minutes 26 seconds. Next up was women's action as we saw Erica Demia. Erica, spelled Airica, was accompanied to the ring by someone whose name I didn't get. All apologies. He was also dressed as a superhero, as Erica Demia took on Sammy Chaos. You know, the ladies really did well in this match. Eventually, what a rush. Chaos dragged Demia's corner man into the ring, and she gave him a choke slam. I forgot how it ended, but Sammy Chaos defeats Erica Demia at 9 minutes 46 seconds to pick up the victory. Up next, we see Jared Diaz challenge Dan Moff for the Grand Championship. I don't know if Jared Diaz attacked him before the bell rang or what they did. But Moff came to the ring sporting an LA Dodgers shirt to really, amplify the heat from the crowd. And what a rush. Eventually, Sean Donovan comes out, and Diaz seemingly had Moff beat, but Sean Donovan can't pull the referee out of the ring. Donovan kept getting on the apron, and Jarrett was knocking him down. Donovan threw the championship belt in the ring. Moff was going to use it, but referee Steven DeAngelis caught him to stop them from prevent him from using the belt. Eventually, Moff had a chain wrapped around his fist, and he nails Diaz with it. Moff beats Jarrett Diaz at 12 minutes, 2 seconds to retain the Grand Championship. After the match, not content with the victory, Moff and Donovan, they just pretty much humiliated this poor kid and left him laying in the middle of the ring. Oh, oh my gosh. Oh. Up next was a singles competition as Ben Rutten, accompanied the ring by two individuals who were dressed up seemingly as store mannequins, and they stood in the aisle throughout the match until they came to the apron. As Ben Rutten did battle with I forgot what his nickname is, Stan Michael. He was known for singing. He was singing that song "Ben" by the late Michael Jackson, unless that was a Jackson 5 song. Stan Michael does have one great singing voice. Oh, what a rush. Stan Michael defeats Ben Rutten at 8 minutes 48 seconds. And then it was the final match of the night. History would be made. It was the final match of the tournament to crown the first ever tag team champions, and it was a ladder match. As we saw, it was set to be the Rep, Nate Wallace and Dave McCall, taking on representing Prolific Isaiah Wolf and the Wise Brother. Isaiah took the microphone and forgot what he said, but then all of a sudden, Bone Crusher's Never Scared starts playing. Out comes Marcus Marquise, who had not been seen in quite some time, and he took the Wise Brothers' place in the match. So Marcus and Isaiah are facing the Rep in this match. The match gets underway. Oh my gosh. I mean, looked like the ladders were seemingly bending and seemingly breaking. At one point, Dave McCall tried to climb a ladder, but it was already breaking. Or like the rungs were not holding and stuff. Eventually, out comes Chris Bishop, the missing ingredient. He attacks Isaiah and Marcus. And he's got a flag that has the Rep logo on it. But out comes Tyree Taylor, and he pretty much does a number on Bishop. After he took him out of there, it looked like he was done for. What a rush. All right. At one point, there was like a door set up on two chairs out on the floor, and Nate Wallace, and I forgot who went through it. Eventually, the end came when I forgot it was Isaiah or Marcus. They climbed the ladder, retrieved the tag belts, and brought them down. Isaiah Wolf and Marcus Marquise defeat the Rep to become the first ever We Are Wrestling Tag Team Champions, and they're all celebrating in the ring. Ruthless Lala, who was commentating the show, with Sam Laterna, and I forgot the gentleman's name. And, so chatting Prolific with the crowd, and they're... And they, blah, blah. And then they have, they're chatting Prolific at the crowd and such. Isaiah took the microphone, and I forgot what he said. And that pretty much ended the show, which ran, ended 11:30 or later. Well, personal notes time. It was good seeing Stella. I noticed her mom was there. Novi was there. Stella's son. Jeff. Haven't seen him in some time. There was a dude sitting across the room due to that beard he had from where I see, sitting across the room where I sat. And it looked to me like the guy, for some reason, I saw that beard. He kind of looked like Necro Butcher for some reason. And right near him was one lady who stood in the front row the whole show. I don't know if she had no chair or what the deal was. Now, one memorable quote: "Take it off, take it off." Some dudes in the crowd at ring announcer Shane Fair before the show got underway. Now, when I reached the park, got off the train at Parkchester Station, I was going to go eat at Circle Pizza near there. But the problem is, I think they remodeled the place and there's no public bathroom to use. And I had to really go, so I decided to just go right to the show. And unfortunately, they didn't have the hot food ready. They just had like puny bags of chips and drinks. That's all they had at that point. And like right after during the second match or third match, I saw people bringing food over to that area. And so intermission, I ended up getting I don't know if it was a empanada or a pastelito, and didn't have much cheese in there. And I also ordered chicken wings, and I don't know if they were even making them or not, because I kept going back over to that pickup window, and the lady was saying that they weren't ready yet. And second time I came back, she offered me a hot dog on the house, and I took it, and kudos to her. But I didn't want to go to the McDonald's by Parkchester Station, because the last time I went there, somebody was asking for money. Lazy fuck bum. That's why I don't really like being out in the public eye, folks. I mean, it's one thing, get out of the house is one thing, but that's what I just don't enjoy about it. People have no consideration whether they're homeless or homeless. They got no money and shit. Get a job, you lazy fucks. I mean, case in point, also, I just wish, We Are Wrestling would run on Saturdays or try a Sunday afternoon when football's not in session. Because the problem with me is that I don't do Sunday shows during football season. Friday night shows are tough to make because I got to come right from work. And, I couldn't bring, when I go right from work for a Friday night show, I can't bring my megaphone with me. Because if I went back home and then go off and then come up there, I would have probably arrived late. And I'm the type of fan who'd rather miss a show than be late for it. Because when I'm late for a show, I am not in the best of spirits. Okay. Also, there was a good-looking lady sitting near me wearing a red T-shirt of the Rep. We had luminaries in attendance. Shane Fair pointed out Sanchez, who hasn't wrestled in years. And also I noticed Monster Mac standing across the room from where Sanchez was sitting. Mike Law helped hang the belts above the ring, or he held the ladders in place as the championship belts were being placed up above the ring. Why couldn't they do that before the show even started? I mean, that could have been a time saver right there. And by the way, during that, the DJ was playing that song by the instrumental song. I can't remember the name of it, but it was performed by the Alan Parsons Project. I mean, you probably wrestling fans remember Ricky the Dragon Steamboat using it for entrance themes. But most NBA fans might remember when during the Michael Jordan era of the starting lineup of the Chicago Bulls, you might, that's the instrumental song. It was performed by the Alan Parsons Project. I forgot the name of it. It's an instrumental tune, folks. They're not singing. And even as that music was playing, Shane Fair put on his best NBA announcers, saying, "Number 23 from North Carolina, Michael Jordan." That's when the NBA was awesome. Don't butter me up about now with as good as Stephen Curry is and that LeBron James character who's always making faces every time the referees blow the whistle and tell him he committed a foul. All right. as I said, unfortunately, I guess those chicken wings never came or something. But I mean, I was thinking after the show of going to that Mexican restaurant, which is walking distance from the show. If you go out the door, when you like go up the stairs from where the shows take place, you go out the door on Olmsted Avenue and you turn left. That's the one that's about a block away. That Mexican restaurant, I went there after a show once, and it's open till like 1 a.m. on Friday nights. But at the same time, I didn't want to spend any more money. And what I did was to go home. I went to wait for the Q44 bus to take me to Jamaica, Queens. Unfortunately, the J train's is not running in Queens for the weekend. So I actually waited for a city bus to take me over to Jamaica Van Wyck Expressway station where the subway shuttle buses were. So while I was waiting for that city bus to take me to the shuttle bus, somebody asked me for $1. Guy couldn't take a fucking hint. I was wearing my earphones and stuff. All right, well, after the show is over, after the show is over, I got a picture with We Are Wrestling promoter Peter Rosado, and definitely was one heck of a show. Peter, I told you I was going to have some ideas on the table, and here they are. Like I said, I told you one time before, I'm hoping for another Rumble in the Bronx. If you ever bring another championship, maybe since the 6-train scramble is becoming a regular thing, maybe a 6-train scramble title? And on the subject of the 6-train scramble, ever thought about maybe having a woman's 6-train scramble? All right. All right, 6-train scramble. Well, of course, no return date was announced for their first offering in 2025. Let me see. Wonder, will Prolific exercise that fabulous Freebirds rule where any 2 members could defend the championship belts? Maybe a tag team gauntlet match, because I mean, we haven't. I don't think there's not too many regular tag teams, because now we got tag team champions. Now, I don't know if the rep will challenge for those belts or not coming up. Oh, well, wow, I forgot something, guys. Also, during the ladder match, Chris Barton and Nino Cruz, Riz and Nasty, they came out. I forgot who they attacked. It was either Wallace or McCall, or was it Chris Bishop during the matchup? So I don't know if they're still going to be a team or what. Barton was on the show and was in a match in the 6-train scramble. Cruz was not in a match at all. All right. Definitely bring back Landon Hale. Makes me wonder who's going to be next for Dan Moff, and who Darius Carter will have to face in their at the first 2025 show, first WAW show in 2025. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't swear to it, but did Shane Fair introduce Mike Law as the commissioner of We Are Wrestling? He did come out again to help with the belts, championship belts being placed above the ring, and he had a suit on. So I don't know what that's all about. Okay. Well, all right. So aside from all that, We Are Wrestling had a great event. Um, sorry. Like I said, hope for great things in 2025. Again, be great to have a Saturday night show or on a Sunday afternoon. If it's not at St. Helena's, it's somewhere else, hopefully near trains or, well, obviously near public transportation. And by the way, because what I did to get to the show, I had to go right from work, took a bus up to Kew Gardens train station, took the E train to Manhattan, got off at 51st Street, was it? Then transferred to the 6th train. And, you know, that just 6th train from Parkchester to Brooklyn Bridge, and then taking the J train home, that would have been a pain in the fucking ass. I mean, as far as all this I went through, I got home almost 2 o'clock in the morning. There's got to be a better darn way. But We Are Wrestling, you're great. 2024, 2025, as I said, look the heck out. We Are Wrestling does just. Wait. You know how appropriate that was when I put the flyer in my Facebook and Instagram story and played POD's Youth of the Nation. You hear the we are part. Quite fitting. So, We Are Wrestling, all in the name.